When I'm watching the news nowadays, it not only feels super scary, it also feels kind of unreal. But unfortunately, it's not. And that's why the movie The Change doesn't also feel like some far-off dystopia. It feels really like something that could happen to us in the future, in the near future. I'm at the Berlin premiere of The Change today, and I'm going to talk to the director of the film, Jan Komasa, and many other premiere guests. Hi, so nice to meet you. Could you tell me your names first of all and what you're doing?
I'm Laura, I'm a model.
And I'm a producer, Davide Raffo.
Nice to meet you. My question for you tonight is, which change would you love to see in our modern society?
I would like to see a change in education, and to be honest, I'm Brazilian, and what I see of what's going on now in Rio is really heartbreaking. And in my opinion, it's a lack in education in the society and just an overall better knowledge around people. And yeah, I find it really heartbreaking to see it. So yeah, that's what I would like to see to change.
Very nice and very important. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm a very short, less social media, I guess. I think it's obvious, but I think we're a bit overwhelmed by this noise, I would say.
Do you have like some strategies to cope with that?
Delete Instagram and focus on your life, I guess. I mean, I'm a millennial, maybe I'm like, I'm now 38 almost, and I think it's way too much. It's too much of a distraction.
Which change would you love to see in our modern society?
Oh, I would love to see more openness, and yeah, it's openness, I think.
I think since we are watching a movie about politics, I guess I don't know so much about the movie yet, honestly, but we also in Germany have a big problem with right-wing movements. That's what we all face in Europe and in the US also, and I hope that this trend will change.
The thing that drew me definitely to this project was Jan and how wonderful of a filmmaker he is. This was, I think, my third movie with Dylan O'Brien, so we're old pals, which was fun, and I always love working with him. Madeline Brewer is just amazing, and I'm a big fan of, and Phoebe Dynevor, and Mckenna, who's just superstar, and obviously legendary Diane Lane and Chandler. So it was a joy, and we were in Dublin, Ireland, in the summer. It was really, really cool. It's a thriller. We love to have together, of course. And look, I never like to tell people what they're going to get out of a movie. I leave that to the audience.
Everything should be like upside down. So I think there's a lot of changes to do. I could not pick one out, but let's try to change everything, and whatever sticks up there is something good.
I think that there is a lot of change right now, and I dislike that because the world is turning to the right side of things, and I would like to see the change backwards. So the change that is happening right now, it scares me.
I read the screenplay that Laurie Rosine Gambino wrote, and it was amazingly prescient. I mean, it was a cautionary tale, and the world has come around, and now it's a little bit more of a current event story in a lot of ways. So a lot of other films have come out and dealt with the climate, and we are here. I am so proud of the work that everyone has done in this film. I mean, everybody can't be here right now because they're all too busy working, but I'm very grateful that Maddie came and Zoey came and we could share the memories. It was 2 years ago. So we all look a little younger in the film. It's fabulous. I'm a fan of his work, so I really had a sense of being in good hands with Allstate with this material. He's the right man for the job. I mean, it was his story with Laurie together, and she wrote the screenplay based on their conversations. So he really knew, he goes into the mind of the person who is the most like frightening in the room. He has a way of wanting to know what they're thinking or why they're upset or what's going on with that guy, like that's where Jan's coming from. And I enjoy that. It's very impactful. I think that everybody can relate to it in a different way, because whatever side of issues you find yourself, you can feel as though you have already been through a level of having to choose between freedoms and safety. That shouldn't be the case. So we're hoping to have people feel like they can throw the windows open and feel seen and heard with their experience in this country. And, it's a global conversation right now.
I would definitely go for the end of the media chaos. I would love to see this finish and just chill out and be peaceful. Yes, I feel yeah.
I think same question. Same answer. Sorry. Yeah.
So what is your strategy to cope with that chaos? I mean, we live with it every day.
Yeah, for now I'm ignoring this information. I feel like this is the only choice, and trying to concentrate on my things and what I'm doing. It will bring the positive change in terms of my work. Really focusing on seeing quality and appreciating this good times, good quality, and this reflects in everything. I feel events. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, and get big energy for a future project and for future life. Yeah.
Nice. I think that's a very good strategy.
I would like more older female characters on screen. So older female actresses on screen, and in general more female roles that are really enrage and maybe empower us as a society. Yes.
To have no wars, to be lovely to each other, to be kind, and to just stop fucking kill each other.
Wearing more color as you do today.
Not the black ones. What's to do?
Like me?
Sorry, but for Berlin, what's normal for Berlin? So maybe that would be the best change, I think. Yeah.
I love to see that too. Usually I'm not wearing that much black. I don't know why it happened today.
Right off the bat, the writing of the script is brilliant, and I think it was telling a political thriller in a way that centers around a family. I think it's a little bit more accessible emotionally to an audience, which I enjoyed. And also I love Anna. I love this character. She's much braver and more intelligent and wittier than I am. I was really thrilled because I admire all of these actors so much for very different projects and reasons, and I was so excited to reunite with Mckenna. We'd done The Handmaid's Tale together, and then to do this with her as my sister, as opposed to the woman who's ruining my life, was great fun. And yeah, I mean, they're all so talented and so. I feel like each person really embodies a different reaction to what the big bad is in this film, and everybody's personality I feel like plays out really beautifully, and I'm very proud of it. Jan is incredibly intelligent. He is so cerebral and also so artistic. He is really. Those two things mesh in him, and he's got to get it out. So I love what sets Jan apart, I think, as a director is how much. I've never worked with a director who knows each of these characters so intimately, really understands them and relates them into someone in his life, and he spent a lot of time with them. You can tell he has a great deal of care and affection for them. And that means so much to me as an actor because now this person is in me and I love her. And it's nice to feel like in those safe hands.
We're in Berlin tonight, and there have been times when in DDR it was very difficult to trust anyone, even your family. So would you say that the change showcases that when there are really extreme beliefs that take over even your family life, this could happen again?
Yes, well, it's actually, you nailed it right, because the lives of others was a huge inspiration for creating this film. I don't have to look far because Poland has the same experience as DDR. And I think, Germany, especially Berlin, was split in two. So we had two sides of the same city. And, you had totally two different opposing views of the world. So Anniversary is kind of like Berlin. Like it shows one family, and the split goes right across the family. And at the moment you can't trust your loved ones is probably the most horrifying thing to me, and that's why I treat this film as a social.
So tonight we're in Berlin, and as you know, in Germany we had a history where it was very difficult to trust anyone, even in your own family. So the change, maybe, is it a way to say that this could happen anytime again when ideologies take over even in your most private part of your life?
Yeah, well, I think Berlin is a great place to show this film and to premiere this film, because Berlin itself was divided in two. And then we had this, obviously, eastern part of Germany and the western part of Germany. And this whole film is about parts, right? So this whole family in the film is kind of like Berlin. It's split in two, and suddenly you have the division, and maybe an invisible division, coming across the whole, like going across the whole family. So this film is about divisions, and individually speaking, more like I would say invisible divisions that are much more, I would say, dangerous, and they corrupt your soul. And that's where I feel that the danger comes from the most.
What would you say is your biggest thought of the film, and also maybe your biggest fear that you have right now when you look into politics and into our world?
Yeah, well, my biggest fear is I made this film because I'm afraid of the apocalypse coming upon our families, so to speak. It sounds weird, it sounds cheesy, but at the core, it's just the relationships that are divided by some invisible ideologies that doesn't mean a thing, but we think they mean something. And politics is so strong these days, and they use politicians and political parties and what have you. They use social media to manipulate us into different tribes that hate each other, and everything became so political these days. Like whether you ride a bike or drive a car, just the choice of whatever, it makes you left or right or whatever. So I think in this world, it's really hard to just have a clear, clean relationship these days. And in a big family, obviously, you won't have people who think the same thing. But at the same time, if we start to hate each other because we think differently, I think that's the collapse.
So you also seem to have a really strong family bond. Do you have maybe some rituals that make you feel closer to each other?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We have some rituals, and my family specifically is very art house driven, sometimes, but art driven. My father is an actor. My mom, she was a singer, and for many years she was the head of Polish television entertainment branch. All my siblings are into like art professions, like singing, and my other sister is a costume designer. So the thing with us is we don't believe in bullshit. Like you can't bullshit us in terms of the art. They were very harsh critiques. Like they criticize everything because they know art and they know how to do art. At the same time, so our family gatherings are more about art. We talk about films. We talk about our own work, and we are very brutal to ourselves. And so that's one of the, I would say, rituals that we have that bond us together. When my dad was diagnosed with cancer, I remember I felt like my dad is sort of saying goodbye to everybody. He's fine, by the way, knock on wood. But I remember the moment when he started to sort of psychologically drift away, and he started to speak less and less about the reality, and he was more, I would say, distant. And I started to, for the first time in my life, I started to use my own failures to bring him back. Because I was always too afraid of his judgment. And I was always circuitous when he asked me like 10 years ago, like, what's up with your film? I would never tell him I have any problems. I would say, yeah, everything is great. And I was hiding all my problems. And now when he was diagnosed and I felt like he's drifting away, I was like, Dad, actually, I have a real problem with this film. Nobody, I have a problem with the producer. He doesn't care about, my idea, or this producer hasn't called back and all this. And I felt like I wanted him to criticize me because that's the bond between us. And I wanted to make this bond more living and bring him back by criticizing myself. So that I felt that probably that's part of it's a toxic maybe element of being in my family, but we really need this, I would say, this really strong opinions that sometimes are hurtful, but it helps us be alive and more vibrant.
Did it also help your connection to your dad that you opened up?
Yeah, totally. Like it helped me and my dad to sort of find a way, and now he's healthy. Yeah. So it's all good. But I remember the first time I saw him, and that's part of the anniversary. Probably that anniversary came from me watching the photos from one anniversary to another, and then I saw the anniversary in which my dad was diagnosed, and I felt like you could look at our faces and you could see the sadness in our eyes, and that was something I've never felt before. And it was like a drama, like a storytelling, just by swiping the pictures. That's why I made this film look more like a photo album, with so many faces, so many close-ups in the film, jumping from one face to another, etc., just to make it more feel more like an album, photo album from the apocalypse.
I'm very deeply moved by the movie. Thank you so much, and thank you for the great evening.
Thank you. Danke. Dankeschön.
Danke dir.
Danke dir.
So,
thank you. Dankeschön.
It's so nice that you did it again with us. And
Yeah.
I think I love this one even better.
Yeah, that was the second take. So the second take sometimes is better. Yeah.